Hello, I'm Rick and welcome to my channel. This here picture shows the finished product of converting my turnbuckles. We changed it over to hydraulics. It's going to make it a lot easier to use. This tractor is an MT125. So to do something like this, it's kind of a challenge because the tractor being small and having the room to do things. Okay, so here's a picture from the side and we can see the hydraulic cylinders here. This one's pretty straightforward. We didn't have to do a lot of modifications, but some for this to work. This is the top hydraulic cylinder, and I'm going to call that tipping function. And then down over here is the side cylinder, which is the tilting function. Doing this here was pretty involved to make all this work out. I'll get a little close-up view here, and I can explain a few more things to you. I have here is a 16-inch cylinder that we cut down from an 18-inch, and then we had to re-weld different brackets on each end of it. We fabricated a bracket up here to attach there, and then we had to one down here that you can't see right now, but you'll see it in the upcoming picture. Another thing I wanted to show you here is that unless you buy this tractor with a rear attachment like a backhoe, which I did, these connections wouldn't be here to plug my hydraulic lines into. This line here is the power beyond line. This here is the tank line. And then down here, this hose here is the pressure side where from the pump itself. So this would be the pressure line. And like I say, none of these hoses or these connection fittings would have been here if I would have just purchased this as a compact tractor with no attachment on the back. I made these modifications for the tilt function because I wanted the maximum travel in this ram. Basically, I took an 18-inch cylinder and shortened it by 2 inches. And we also shortened the ram by 2 inches. So instead of 8 inches of travel, I have 6 totals. I can move the box blade from side to side 3 inches each way. And if I would have tried to just put a short cylinder in here to make tilt function, I wouldn't hardly had any travel to do much of anything. So there's a method to my madness, and you'll see in the upcoming pictures here. Like I was saying earlier, having this tip and tilt function working with hydraulic is a huge time saver and allows a person not to have to get off the tractor and make adjustments to the turnbuckles. This system would be a great option for others, but for me, it's a necessity. Back in 2017, I lost my ability to walk, and I had very minimal use of my hands. For me, there's no way that I could do this type of work without this function. You're probably wondering then how I get on and off the tractor. I'll be showing you that in an upcoming video. Another thing I wanted to show you here, which you're probably wondering what these are here, these are basically just colored wire ties. And I got them spaced an inch apart. You can't see it too well in this photo, but there's a camera here, and it shoots right back to here. So, and I got a monitor up on the hood. That way I can see where center is, which is this point right here. It's a bright green wire tie. So that's what I call center position or level. The box blade would then level with the tractor. You also have done the same thing up here. That bright green one's the center or level with the tractor, and 1 inch increments that I can adjust it. This picture here basically just shows a compact tractor. Not mine. I should have taken some pictures before I start on it. This is basically what mine looked like. The turnbuckle for the tilt. And as you can see, this arm here is one continuous piece down to a pivot point. That's part of one of the points of the 3-point hitch. And then basically over here, there's another one. It's kind of hard to see here. And then you got 3 points, and that makes you a 3-point hitch. You can also see here that there are no hydraulic fittings to connect anything to. So this tractor has nothing back here, and he would have to do the same thing if you want to do what I have done. This is a picture of one of my 18-inch cylinders. And by 18 inches, meaning that when it's fully retracted, there's 18 inches between here and here. And also on this little box here, it's a check valve. Once you put the ram into the position you want, then this check valve here locks the hydraulic fluid into the cylinder, so it cannot drift. It can't go either way. It's going to stay where you put it. This here is basically when we just took and unscrewed this from here and pulled the ram out of it. Another picture of it completely disassembled. The gland nut here and your seals. So we had to take all this off of here because we're going to be cutting this here and shortening it. And then we're going to be taking 2 inches out of here. Also the check valve here, you got these lines on both sides. We're going to be cutting some off of this side because we're taking 2 inches out from between these two spots. So we need to take 2 inches out of here so everything will line back up. Okay, so this is after we've taken that cylinder and made some cuts. So as you can see right here, we have a tack welded together. I'm using this angle bracket here that is connected to both ports of the cylinder. And then this is keeping everything in line for me. We have it clamped on here for mock-up reasons to figure out exactly where we need to cut this and how much we need to lower it. Okay, this is another view from the other side. Basically, it just shows you we fabricated this and welded it onto the end of here, and that we have this tacked together. Okay, so now I can explain a little bit more about this here. So this is that one arm that we had the cylinder clamped to and got our lines and kind of located where where we're going to need to weld this. This picture here shows that this is after I've gotten it back from the person that did the welding for me. And as you can see now, we have it welded in onto here, and it's been cut open to give us some travel. We've taken this off, shortened it the 2 inches, and we used the other end of the turnbuckle and used this part of it, welded it onto this. Down here, as you can see, this one has been shortened and welded back together in this spot here. This has been completely welded, and it's basically ready to go back together. So now we've got it fully assembled, and you can really see the difference in what we've done here, the mounting brackets and the check valve. I purchased a 2-spool hydraulic control valve, just like the one I have pictured here. This here is the power beyond port. These two here are the tank ports. On the opposite side of the valve, there is the pressure in. And these 4 red plugs here are the ports that control the 2 hydraulic cylinders. Further on, you'll see that I will be modifying these 2 levers. Pictured here is a power beyond adapter. Once you remove this plug here, the adapter screws right into that port. I forgot to mention at the beginning that this whole system is one of a kind. As far as I know, nobody else has done this. There were no extra ports for adding any other hydraulics to it. So what I've done is used a piece of plywood here, tied it to this handle for support, mounted this control valve to it, and then also this linkage that I'm sure you won't see anyplace else. This is all custom made here. And also we extended these arms up taller so I can easily control it. It gives me more leverage to move these arms because the springs in these valves here are pretty darn strong, for me anyway. And so what I've done here is these two arms match the function of how that box blade moves. So if this is pulled in toward the seat, it tilts the box blade one direction and then pushing it away the other. This one here I've designed to push forward or pull back, and that also moves the same direction as the box blade. I've talked a little bit about power beyond, and you might not know what I mean by that. I'm going to try to explain it to you, that hopefully you understand a little bit more about it when we're done. So as I was saying before, this right here is the pressure line from the pump, and it comes up the bottom, remember? And as long as these arms are setting in neutral, you're not moving anything, the hydraulic fluid is then directed up and out on this line, which is the power beyond line. So what that does then is it connects to the back of the tractor, and it runs up then to the front bucket control valve. It has fluid there for use. And if that is not being used, it returns that fluid back through the power beyond line, then back to the tank. Then these four lines here are your directional controls that go directly back to the cylinders. When you're moving these arms, the oil is then directed these lines here and these lines here. It all depends on which way you're moving the arm on extending or retracting the cylinder. When you're retracting, that oil needs to go someplace, so there's a line right back here, which is a little hard to see, but there's an elbow there. There we go. There's an elbow right here, and that is the tank line. Any return oil has to come back and out this line to the tank from the cylinder that you're operating. One other thing I wanted to say about the power beyond here is that when you're using this control valve, there is no oil flowing up to the control valve for the bucket. So basically you can only move one thing to a time. I hope my explanation has made sense to you, and you now have a better understanding of how it works. Next thing here, I'm going to show you how this linkage works. Neutral position right now, no arms are being pushed or pulled. I have a spring mounted right here that helps hold this part of the linkage to the center, and it keeps it from vibrating too. Here you should be able to get a better view of how this linkage all works. So right now I'm pushing that lever toward the seat, and in doing so, you can see the lever comes down here behind this and then down and connects to this arm right here. And you can see that it's pushed, this arm is pushed away from center, and you can see the valve is pushed that one direction. This is with the lever being pushed away from the seat. There's a pivot point here for the arm, comes down, bends, comes across here, and comes down and connects to this arm. So this is when, like I say, we're pushing the lever away from the seat now, and this valve now is going the other direction. So here we are at the front of the valve, and you can see here what we've done, how we're able to move this arm in or out. Right now it's in the neutral position. Next, I'm pushing this arm forward toward the bucket, and you can see right here that this arm is now moved from the center in toward the tractor. Now I'm done just the opposite. I'm pulling the arm backwards, and you can now see that this arm here is being pushed away from the tractor. This here is just a picture. I pulled the spring down here so you could see the power beyond adapter. It connects to the top of the control valve. Again, I did all this mechanism here so I was able to push the lever forward or pull it backwards to match the direction of the box blade. And for me, it'd be less confusing what handle does what. Over here you can see that there are no openings for any more hydraulic controls. That's why we had to add this on here to make this box plate function. Okay, we're now back to the completed picture of the entire system. You can see the control valves over here and all the lines coming back into here. Everything's hooked up and ready to go. So next we're going to go out and I'll show you how it all works. Now I'm going to show you the function of both these cylinders. Right now I'm pointed at the top one, which I'm calling the tip. That's going to tip the box blade forward and back. And then the lower one down here is the tilt function. So I'll back up here and we will fire it up and we'll show you how it works. So today I have my lovely wife, Teresa, that's going to be the operator, and she will go through the operation of this. So go ahead, fire the tractor up. At first she's going to show you the tip function. So go ahead and do the, yep. Okay, good. Now the other way. Good. Yeah. Okay, we got it back to the center or neutral position, so it's pretty much level with the tractor. All right, so go ahead and we'll do the tilt function. Go ahead. Good. All right, so I'm going to reposition both and we're going to show it again from the back. Okay, then go ahead and do the, yep. Good. Now the other way. Okay, now bring it back. Good. All right, now so show the other one, the tilt. Yep. Okay, then bring it back the other way. Good. You can go ahead and shut the tractor off. Okay, well that's the function of my box blade, and it works real well, and I can't wait to try it out. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, I'd appreciate it if you would click on like and subscribe. And I greatly appreciate that. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye now.